this is DeDee Pfeiffer from ABC's Big Sky, and I think we're Thursday nights this year. And I'm on with Todd Wharton, so you gotta check him out. He's awesome and really funny.
So have you guys ever gone out to eat and found out what you really wanted wasn't on the menu? Well, this segment's entitled Special of the Day.
Chicken salad's not the opposite of tuna. Salmon's the opposite of tuna, because salmon swim against the current and the tuna swim with it.
Parents like dropped you on your head when you were a baby?
You know, that woman just looked at you.
She just found out what the special of the day is. And I'm gonna bring her over the dessert. Hey, baby, I couldn't help but notice that you're craving something that's not on the menu.
Oh, yes, I was.
My name's Todd, and I just broke up with my sister. We'll be right back with actress DeDee Pfeiffer. Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back. My guest tonight is an amazing actress, and you all know her. She plays Denise Brisbane on the hit series on ABC, Big Sky. Let's take a look at a clip.
Guys, look. He's back. Legarski, he's back there right now. This is it. It's gotta be. Let's go. I'll drive. Hi, Denise.
Everybody, please give a warm welcome to DeDee Pfeiffer.
You doing all right? I'm doing great, Todd. How are you? Thank you for having me on.
I'm great. It's an honor to have you. I'm just blessed with all the amazing guests I've had in just season 2, 5 days a week. And you're in LA, correct? You're out in LA?
No, actually, before we went on, I thought we were on live. Before we started talking, I told you I'm standing in my dog's bed right now because I'm actually in New Mexico. Okay, long story short, Big Sky started in New Mexico for a day. A day. Mm-hmm. Quarantine happened, COVID, that thing that just fucked us all up. And then we stopped. Then we went to Canada, did the first season, and then we went home, we regrouped, and now we're in New Mexico, which is why, you see that behind me? You see that dead looking? Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's not mine. No, that's not mine. I mean, it's cute. I mean, it's pretty. And I'm very spiritual, but I'm just not a big fan of like skulls. But anyways, I'm in New Mexico standing in my dog's bed because we just got here. My dog, cat, bird, and 15-year-old. So
how long are you going to be down there for? Because you're shooting season 2, right?
No, I don't know. Probably Christmas time because we got picked up for, what did they say? Oh, God, I'm bad with math.
Second season, right?
13, yeah. 13 brings us to Christmas. Thank you. Yeah, exactly, right? And then if we get picked up for the back 7, that will keep us here till I think April.
Oh, man, that's so exciting because I don't think a lot of people realize that. I mean, I'll admit, I did some extra work when I was younger, which is like whatever. It's just extra work. Anybody can do that. But just being there, you really see what you guys go through for a show, because I probably did like 4 or 5 shows, but the work that the real actors put into a show is crazy. And, I mean, I thought I had it bad. I'm sitting in the back, eating muffins for 13 hours, and they don't even use me half the time. And at that time, we didn't have like phones and stuff with the internet, so it's like we're playing Scrabble and everything.
Yeah, you actually had to talk to the other people with you who were extras for the day. You actually had to have a conversation with them because you couldn't bury your face in the phone. Yeah.
Oh, the worst is being around people who don't talk because they don't read books or get to know other things.
Yeah.
I keep telling these young people, like I'm 47, but I keep telling people, like, listen, there's so much out there in the world that you can learn that can intrigue yourself to other people. Stop being minute to the phones, because this is good for like what we're doing now. It's perfect where I can interview you, but it's not your life, No.
I've never been where acting has been my life. I've always like the world out there is like my palette, That's why I was always doing volunteer work. I did Project Angel Food for those at the time when AIDS was a huge problem. I lost my best friend to AIDS, my father to cancer.
Right.
I've lost a lot of people, all sorts of things. So I've been always really involved with social welfare issues. Excuse me while I stand up, I'm smashing my dog's bed. And people ask me, like, as an actor, like, what advice? I said, well, first thing, don't think about headshots, don't think about an agent, get your ass into a really good acting workshop. And if you cannot find one, then go to your local college and go for free. But see if you even like acting. You know, what it means to break down a scene, character development. But on top of that, because you're going to be told no 99.9% of the time as an actor, considering less than 1% work at any time, you better have something else going on. And that's as an actor or an artist where you're fortunate enough to go literally be a sponge to the world out there.
Right,
be a
exactly.
sponge, man, right? Because you can bring that into your acting, into your roles. And when they want the girl next door, you show them a different version of the girl next door because you actually went out there and observed with curiosity, not judgment, people around you, right? Because when you're looking at through judgment, this is kind of how the world looks.
Exactly.
But when you look at life with curiosity, look at that, right? It's like the world it's just there, right?
Right.
So I'm with you, man. You gotta, the world's a crazy place right now. There's a lot to get hooked up into, even if it's just one thing, man, right?
Yeah, and thank you for saying that, because I don't think a lot of people understand where the phrase starving artist came from.
Yeah.
And I honestly, the way I see it was starving artist means that somebody's trying to build a career out of their passion. But until you can do that, you got to have a side job. You have to pay your bills.
Absolutely.
And if you're not going to pay your bills, how are you supposed to succeed as any type of artist if you can't even get to the set because you can't afford cab fare or get a subway or anything?
Well,
so I like that you said always have something on the side. Like, I worked in the restaurant industry 25 years.
Yeah.
And a lot of actors too did that too, because the only job that can really revolve around what you do with the flexibility and still make some good money.
Yeah.
And do what you do.
Well, you're right though, Todd. When I was illegal, I was 20 years old, 19 or 20. I worked as an illegal cocktail waitress at a female oil and mud wrestling joint called the Hollywood Tropicana back in the day. You almost spit up your coffee. I love it. But you know why?
What?
My family and friends were like, "What the hell is she doing?" I'm like, I'm making more money than if I were to go, do a 24-hour diner, which I did that as well. But really, and instead of looking at it like I was in the bowels of Hollywood working illegally, I actually used it as this incredible character study. And boy, did I learn a lot about a groups of different kinds of people while working there. And I also learned how to kick the shin of a guy who grabs your ass when you got like 2 armfuls of pitchers of beer. Like, you got to defend yourself, that's what your boots are for. That's a way of saying, hey, stop it. Stop goosing me when I'm trying to do my job. So I was this really cute, sweet little Orange County girl who learned a lot of what I learned when it comes to my smart assness and my street smarts came from that job, which then enabled me to, when I went to go read for those kind of roles, I had a little bit of an edge. I went, I know who she is. I was selling drinks illegally and trying to fend off some pretty big guys. They were all guys. I mean, it was a guy's place, right?
Mm-hmm. Correct. Yeah, and the restaurant industry prepares you for so many industries, especially when it comes down to dealing with people.
Yeah.
Like you said. And I'm sorry that you actually went through that. I mean, fortunately, I'm a guy. I didn't really ever have somebody grab my ass. But honestly, if a woman grabbed my ass, I'd be like, yo, man, I'll be like, you better put a 20 in that pocket if you go to grab it. Put a 20 in there. Come on, girl.
You're kind of cute, Todd. You go to WeHo, we can fix that real fast.
Yeah, I appreciate. By the way, speaking of that, I have to throw some love to you because I've seen you. We're around, I believe, the same age, but growing up, when I saw you in that clip in Seinfeld, a couple of other movies, I honestly had a little bit of a little crush on you, girl. I'm letting you know right now. And I'm just like, man, she's not with George? I'm like, come on, man. Seriously? Is that where the world's coming to? It's like, come on. It's like, what am I doing wrong here? It's like, I don't want to start doing the opposite. Like, what the hell?
But, dude, Todd, a lot of my exes, you would go, really? I'm like, it's not that I have a low bar. I'm not going to say that about any of my exes. That's not nice nor fair. But let's just say that there's qualities of people that girls and guys or they find, attractive that you have no idea what it is. It could be half a tuna sandwich and a cup of tea or whatever, right? That you're over there, but mind your own business, do your own thing, and someone like me could get a crush on you, right? Not me, but the character, right?
Exactly.
But yeah, a lot of guys I ended up being with for many years, I met them in they said one thing and I went, oh, hi. And they have no idea to this day probably what it was they said, right? That made me go, oh, hi, what's your name again? Either that or I'm just really, really easy in my old age. I don't know.
Exactly.
Maybe a little bit
Now,
of
I need to know, you have to be the clown and the comedic person in the group of Big Sky because you're amongst a lot of serious actors.
Yeah.
But you have such a great energy about you. Do you bring the same energy when you get on set to relax people? Because a lot of them are young actors, not Ryan Felipe who they killed off, but I think a lot of them are
Dude,
tense when they're
what if
getting
someone
this
never
role.
saw the show? You just gave up the pilot.
Oh my God, I'm so sorry, everybody.
I know. We're in
So
season
go
2,
back
right?
2 years ago. No, I'm just saying, go back. Season 1. I'm sorry. If you
No, I
guys
would
haven't
try
seen
not
Big
to give that
Sky,
up, but it's like if you haven't seen it by now, then I don't know what to tell you, right?
it was the way. I'll be honest with you. I'm a big marketer. I'm a big editor when it comes to videos, as you see. But I loved how you guys marketed Big Sky, where it kept you intense. Because I always tell people when you look at a show or a movie, if they show you bits and pieces but make it exciting, that's a good trailer. But if they show all the great parts in the movie in the trailer, wait till it comes out on Netflix because it's
Yeah.
not going to be worth it. And you guys had so many great different types of pilots that made people want to watch it. And very smart how you really moved Ryan Felipe into in the forefront because he obviously is a no name like you guys are, but but nobody knew, and that was the best part of the show. Like, wait, what the hell? But it kind of introduced the show to all these up and coming stars, not you. But I thought it
I'm
was
recycled.
smart.
I'm recycled, baby. I like recycling. I'm recycled.
Yeah, you're recycled. Okay, all
I
right.
was out for 10 years and I came back. I'm now recycled.
I wanted to ask you that because I want to go back to Big Sky and everything, but you took literally roughly 10 years off from your passion. Was it for your family? Were you just looking to just be you for 10 years? Like, tell me about that.
Long story short, and I apologize for people who've heard me before say that they're like, oh my God, here she comes with that same story. But it's the same story. I could lie and say something else.
You can lie. I personally never spoken to you. I've seen it, but for 10 years, you can go off on a different story if you want. I mean, it's up to you.
What it was a compilation of things, but really at the end of the day, I'd always been concerned and interested in social welfare issues and animals and just in general. I mean, when I'm driving down a road, I see an animal or a person in the gutter, I stop. And I help them out because that's just the way I am. So when I hit this place in my career 10 years ago, what am I, 57? Baby, I'm 10 years older than you. So listen, you're still younger than me. So your age, 10 years ago, I hit a place where I'm a single mom, raising 2 boys. And honestly, I wasn't crazy about the way the industry was rather kind to guys who got all gray and pudgy and wrinkly and they somehow got sexier. And yet we pulled that shit as women. We became very unemployed. And I didn't like that aspect. Not only that, but I also was thinking, what is this showing and telling my boys about women? Right. And I'm not, but then at the same time, I kept seeing all this stuff going on in social welfare issues on a macro, meso, and micro level. And I just was bothered by it. And I wanted to help more than just volunteer, which I have always done. So I decided to go to college, not knowing a thing about anything.
Went back to school.
Dude, I graduated in '82. Dinosaurs were still walking around. There was no computers. There was no cell phones. Thesis statement, what the fuck is that? Why is there 2 + X = 6? That's a typo. Like literally, I had not a clue of like what they wanted from me when they tested me. When I went I went to a community college and said, hey, I want to help people. And they're like, okay, what degree do you want? I go, I don't know, you tell me. And they're like, that's not the way it works, DeDee Pfeiffer. You have to tell us. And I said, well, and he goes, a psych degree? I said, sure. So that's kind of how it started. Not a clue. They started testing me for learning disabilities. I had a plethora of them, which is why I thought I was stupid in school, by the way. Terrible low self-esteem.
I think a lot of us went through that.
In our generation, you were considered stupid and put in group number 3 with Bobby who ate paste. Whom, by the way, now I advocate for Bobby who eats paste because I'm a social worker, so don't even get me started, right? So that was not a bad thing. They put me in group 3 with Bobby who ate paste.
Now, is this going to be something? I mean, you can be an actress forever, but I like that you're exploring other fields because whether people like it or not, you could be an A-lister for a long time, and then one day it could be gone, nobody can explain that. So I like the fact that you're looking in other fields, even though I think that I know that you're going to be an actress the rest of your life, right? But it's always good to have something to fall back on, because if things never work out the way you want it,
Right.
you have a
Well,
cushion.
and Todd, you're so dead on straight. And what I wanted to do is I was given an opportunity. When given this show, I was at a very interesting intersectional, like a part in my life. I'll kind of wrap it up real quick. 10 years later, I finally got my master's of social work and I got my bachelor's of psych. I did not plan to take 10 years. That was not, I thought I could get it in like a week or two. I clearly had not a clue what the hell I was doing, but I wasn't going to give up. So I wanted to show my boys what it looked like to go for something so out of what reach for me. It was so out of reach. And but I had to not stop until I got it. And I was able to get it. And then I realized, how am I going to financially afford to raise my 2 teenage boys in Los Angeles on a social worker's salary? I had not a clue how I was going to make that work. But what happened to me a year before that, I took a year off in between my 2-year master's graduation or master's program. I took a year off to get sober. I got my ass sober because I was a high functioning alcoholic, in denial like most of us, because I got the A's. I never drank while working, never drank while school, never drank while breastfeeding, the whole thing. But I was an alcoholic, and I got my ass into rehab. And let me tell you, it took a year off. Scariest thing I'd ever done, but it saved my life. And then I went back to my last year.
And congratulations for that. And you notice with me on all my shows, I usually don't bring up stuff like that unless somebody wants to talk about it.
Yeah.
Because I'm sick and tired, honestly, DeDee, I'm sick and tired of a lot of talk shows using so many skeletons to bring out drama to think that that's what people like. Yeah. And I actually had the same thing with Todd Bridges. We had a great interview, and then out of nowhere, he brought up that he's 18 years sober.
18?
And you know, and I called him afterwards. I'm like, hey, I didn't know you were going to do that. It's like, nah, man, you made me feel so comfortable. I was cool with it. I'm like, all right, great, because I appreciate you bringing this out. I can't imagine what you went through, because I didn't go through that. So I hate when people say, I know what you're going through. Unless you know what they're going through, say something else, you know. And I hate when people do that. Like, yeah, you know, I know what you're going. No, you don't. It's like, come on, man. It's like, you've been a straight A student all your life. You never got a D. I got D's on my, no, well, not me, but, you know, but congratulations on that. I think that's amazing. And I'll be honest with you, I love what you just did and what you just said. You went back to school, got a degree, because I think parents need to realize that not only being a parent for your kids, you also have to be a mentor to your kids, for them to look up to your parents, not just as a mom, but as a friend and as a human being that says you could do anything you want at any age if you put your mind to it. And I love that about you. I just want to know right now.
The parent who's saying that to the kid, sitting there drinking coffee, smoking cigarettes on the TV, just sitting there all day, not doing much with one's life, to say, Johnny, you can do whatever you want. Yeah, like you, mom, sitting there, you know, I mean, and this is why I thought I don't want to be a hypocrite. I wanted to help people, and I needed to figure out what that looked like. So, and I thought, if I can sit here and tell my boys, you need to go get an education. Well, hey, at 40, late 40s, I went and got an education. I was in front of the cameras. I did it. And I thought, dude, if I can do it, you can do it. What's your excuse, right? Never, by the way, both my sons have no interest in going to college after all of this.
Yeah, you know what's crazy? But you know what's crazy you said that? College is important. Don't get me wrong. But it's proven that if you really have that grind about you, a hustle, a work ethic that nobody can break, college is something that prepares you for the real world. It opens up your mind, and it kind of points you in the direction of what you want. Graduate school gets you the job. But I always tell people, college is not for everyone. And there are people out there that became multi-millionaires because you cannot teach a work ethic, right? Even in acting. You could learn in acting the Mazik technique and all the techniques you want, but it does not teach you to show up like you did today in this interview, 2 minutes before, meaning that you're on time and you're the last person to be there on set.
I made 3-4 attempts to get in, and then I somehow got myself out. I
gave you a bye.
That was like college, by the way. My journey as an actor in college. I got on and then somehow got kicked off. got back on, got kicked off. So the thing is, you keep going on. It's not about getting kicked off. It's about finding a way to get back on. But you're right. I always told my sons, I don't care if you want to be a trash truck driver. I really don't. But I want you to be a happy and successful trash truck driver or whatever. So if college is their thing, great. If not, guess what? I went in my late 40s. I was acting. I was acting out of the chute at 18, you know, and I struggled, like you said, for many years, you know, and that was, it created a lot of texture and made you really clever, by the way. You really knew how to make a buck stretch, and there's nothing wrong with that. I'm going to say I'm a thrifty mother. Oh, I'm thrifty. I can take something. I just concocted the bird stand with some duct tape. I created a whole nother stand for my son's cockatoo panty. Everyone who follows me on Instagram knows her. She's a diva. She might be on later. But you're right about the kids thing. I think the best thing you can do is expose them to everything that's out there in the world. I tell them the world is your palette. And at any point, like I was on the 405 acting, and then all of a sudden I thought, fuck this, I'm going to get off and go on the 10 freeway and try going to school. Then I was on the 10 freeway, right? I got my education. Then I hit a place where I thought, oh, I'm sober. I'm getting my degree. And then out of nowhere, I thought, I have no idea. I wanted to finish the story because I think you might think this is cool. I had no idea how I was going to support financially my children. I knew spiritually I got it down at this point, especially being sober, right? But I really wasn't sure how I was going to make the the $5 stretch that far on a social worker's salary. And out of nowhere, while interning at the Department of Mental Health in Santa Clarita, my brother-in-law, David E. Kelly, texted me. The man, I didn't know he had my number. He never texted me before. He never called me before. So I'm on, you know,
family though.
But no, but like we're very tight, but we see each other on holidays. We never talk shop. My family's weird, Todd. We don't talk shop. It's a tight family, but we don't talk shop. He texts me out of nowhere and says, hey, I think I got a job for you on this new series. Are you still acting? I almost dropped my damn phone. And of course I spent, YESSSSSSSSSSS, you know. And what he did, unbeknownst to him, is he threw me a lifeline when I needed it. Me getting this
so cool. I love it.
This gig saved my ass. So it's like the universe or Mother Earth or whatever, you know, whatever it is you believe in. For me, it was like the universe shifted because I was on the right path. I knew I was doing the right thing. My thoughts, my spirit, my soul, everything, I knew I was on the right path, but I didn't know how. I just had to somehow blindly trust. Trust, they say, works best in the dark. They ain't joking. They ain't joking.
Yeah, and by the way, if people don't know, David E. Kelly is very well known for Ally McBeal, Boston Legal, The Practice. He's done a lot of great shows, writer, and he was a former attorney too, so obviously he has a good business background. But I love the fact what you just said. And I relate to that because my older brother Scott's out in California. He's actually one of the CEOs for Logitech. And so we really don't talk shop when we're together. Right. And I agree why you and your family, because we all know who your family is, right? Yeah. And God knows when you go outside, you're always bombarded with people, right? When you go out to eat, you get bombarded. It's always, even when it's not work, it's work because it's fans that's part of work. Even though you're blessed, they're always coming at you. But when you're with your family, you need that family time, like talking about the past, how you grew up as sisters, how, hey, you know, did you try the new eggplant Parmesan dish? You know, something stupid,
dude,
you know?
My sister, Michelle, her new thing, and she knows it pisses me off, is she calls me with a FaceTime camera on. She did it again today, and I'm like this. I push decline. And then I call her back, and she goes, what the fuck's wrong with them? What the fuck is wrong with you? I just woke up. I don't want to look at myself. And she goes, well, you know, and I go, you're like this guy Todd today. I'm supposed to, like, do this thing on the phone. What's wrong with you people? Whatever happened to just calling on the phone? The camera drives me crazy.
I don't have your number.
I want to see your face. I'm like, ew.
Listen, I got to get your number anyway because I'm like everybody's best friend. Like, half of Hollywood, like, we just chill. Yeah. Because that's why I asked you if you're in LA, because I'm going to be out in the LA event in August because I'm talking to people about the show. And I'm meeting up with John and Casey Amos because we wrote a movie together. So I'm actually, I would love to talk to you about that too on a side note. But yeah, if you want to, feel free and throw me your digits. Like, after you come back from Mexico, whatever.
I will call you, but like a normal person with no cameras.
That's fine. That's fine.
Like, I'm old school, man.
That's fine.
My daily planner is on my coffee table. It's a paper. little thing that you write on. And my sons are like, Mom, you know, you have one in your phone. I'm like, you know, I can barely turn that thing on. I'm fine. Remember,
I am totally fine with that because I'm in agreement. Listen, there are a couple of reasons to do these like video things. Number one, interview, which is great.
no,
Number
I know.
two,
I'm just messing.
if it's 2 a.m, you and somebody else feeling a little something, then you both put makeup on, you're prepping for it. That's a little different. You know what I'm saying? But nobody wants to be woken up at 6 a.m. and be like, hey, baby. And you got perks in your eyes. Like, yo, get out of here, man. I hate that.
I swear to God, I don't think twice about it. When I look down and it says Sal, that's my sister's name, and it says FaceTime, I go, oh, hell no. Delete. And I'm like, no, and no. And my son's like, that was Aunt Shell. I'm like, that's right. And I declined her ass because I don't want, because like, she's like, but it's not about you looking at yourself, DeDee. It's about me wanting to look at you. I said, yeah, but if there's a kid, like right now I'm trying to look at you, I keep looking down and I'm like, whoa, look at how stupid that piece of hair is. Look, what's that dead thing behind you, DeDee? I mean, just
like what?
Looking all up in my home video picture.
It's like, yeah, what the hell? You got skulls in the background? Like, listen, I understand when people talk about their skeletons, but damn, having in the background of your room, like what's going on here?
What the hell is that?
Oh man, that's crazy.
Yeah, I don't know where to put that because it's not mine.
It's just weird. Like, whoever thought of like, hey, I got a great decor idea. Why don't we go out and kill an animal?
Oh.
Steam it, and then stick it on a wall. Awesome.
Dude, in Duel and Hoyt in Big Sky, Denise, if you watch the show, and if you haven't, you'll catch up on Hulu, you know. Anyways, Denise is always in the office. And if you see the master shots, you'll notice right above my head, catty corner, there's this huge buck head. It's like a 5-pointer or whatever, and it's dead as a doorknob because it's taxidermy. And every time I look up there, I go, wow, that is just, I'm like, what is it with all these dead things around me and Denise? What the hell? But you know what I want to do? I want to bring my son's cockatoo. Here, I'll show you. I want to bring Panny, because everyone loves her. And I want to put her on there.
Panny?
This is Panny. Here.
Where did you come up with the name Panny?
It's Pandora. You see her?
Oh, okay. Oh, wow. That's beautiful.
Panny, say hi. Say hi. Oh, look at how pretty.
Yeah.
Bye, baby. No, see, you steal the camera.
That's beautiful. How does she react when she travels with you? Because I know animals sometimes are not big fans of getting on planes or cars or anything like that.
I have a very small car. My 15-year-old son, my huge rescued Rottweiler, the rescued cat, and the cockatoo all drove here. 17 hours. I can't talk about it. I'm still traumatized. My son will talk about it, which is shocking. The bird and the cat and the dog did amazing. They're fine. It was my son and I. It was not one of those, oh, DeDee, you and your son are going to bond. No, and no. It wasn't very fun for us at all.
And you know what's crazy? I can feel so much happiness in you right now that you, even though you got your degree, that you're back into acting. Like, you could just feel it. Like, it's kind of like if you threw Jack a life preserver in Titanic. Like, really? So you're gonna send me a life preserver? Like, how about this, Kate Winslet? Why don't you move over so I can hop up on the wood with you? How about that? You gonna help me out?
Todd, it's funny that you say that, and thank you for saying that, because one thing that I do live every day, I was always grateful before recovery, but now that I'm in recovery, one of the things that, you know, you kind of forget when you're in your disease, when you're in your alcoholism or your addiction, it doesn't matter what you're addicted to, by the way. I don't care if it's heroin, meth, sex, gambling. An addiction is an addiction, and if you're all out there, I hear you. I got you. And this is why I talk so openly about it, because we got to get rid of the social stigma. I personally take it upon myself to just go on the set. I go on the set. Hi, DeDee Pfeiffer. I'm sober. Nice to meet you. Almost 3 years this month. And they're like, did she just say that? I'm like, yeah, I did. Because that's how we have to have this conversation. It needs to be like that, right? It's just what it is. It does not define me. It's what I live with. And I want to make sure that everyone else knows that they're not alone. And to go back to what you were saying about being grateful, I am incredibly grateful for this job. I'm grateful that I earned my degree. I showed my boys, didn't tell them how, even though it's hard, and at any age, you can go and do whatever you want. You can go to school and have a major learning disability like I did. You can start a craft like acting and then kind of take some time off and go back. Continue on with, hopefully, with my embracing my recovery, hopefully I'm helping even one person out there go, oh, she can do it, maybe I can. Because here's what I want to tell people who are in recovery. Recovery means you're no longer using your drug of choice or whatever it is you're addicted to. When you're in your disease, like I was, you are the identified problem in your family and friends and group. But when you're in recovery, you're the identified possibility. And let me tell you, Todd, it is awesome every day waking up knowing that I'm the identified possibility in my family and my group of friends and my children.
Yeah, I love that. And
right?
you're 100% on the note. You're 100% on, because people forget that celebrities are human.
Yeah.
All the time. So it's always good that when you come out or you had a problem or anything, because it helps your fans relate to you. Like, oh my God, she's going through the same thing I went through, and she's talking about it. Thank you, DeDee, for bringing that out, because I'm not even up at your status level of celebrity-wise, like a person would say to you. Oh no, I'm not saying me. I'm talking like if somebody had the same alcohol problem and they're looking at you like I'm not even close to where DeDee is, but I appreciate her coming out like that, because it's hard for me to even talk, because I have a very big issue with my insecurity. And that's what I think a lot of people come through. It's pride, it's insecurity, it's about being scared about what people think. And I like how you talk about the women aspect, because men, you know how they gain weight and we look sexier? Listen, I'm sorry, man, but if these magazines got to predict what a woman should look like, then guys, get your ass to the gym and start working out. And if that's the woman that you want to get with, then you know what? Compliment her by bringing home some abs. Like, that's the way I look at it. You know, that's my 2 cents.
I like it, Todd. I'm picking up what you're dropping. I like it, and I'm liking it. You know what's also, I think, really important is that people do, as addicts, we carry shame. People don't realize just how much shame we carry. I felt like a failure because I couldn't quit. I felt like a failure because I couldn't drink like normal people. I felt like a failure because I couldn't get control over it, you know? And so there's a lot of shame, so much shame that it just kneecaps you. And you know, there's something else going on with addiction that a lot of people don't realize or understand. Is there's also a lot of unidentified, untreated, unevaluated trauma and more trauma that's buried down in there so deep that it allows the addict to keep using, because to even get near that trauma it feels like you'll die if you get near that kind of pain, you know? And I'm here to tell you, I had some major trauma. My trauma is no more special or painful than anybody else's, but I wanted to stay far away from it as possible as I could, because it was painful. Trauma's painful, but I did it. I submerged myself in it, and it was the only way I could get through to the other side. And every day I'm still reminded how, like, there's still more in there. And if I run from it, it just feeds it. But when I lean into it, I own the bitch. I own it. It's mine. See the difference? Yeah.
Oh, I love that quote that you just said. By the way, your character, Denise Brisbane, I study up on a character. Now, what people don't realize sometimes is there's a method to every character. And the character is obviously sort of a manager, right? A manager's job is to oversee a lot of stuff and be a social worker, per se. That's kind of a manager's job. Now, is your character, because it's kind of relates to you a little, your character. I see this character in season 2 having a big effect on bringing certain parties together and being responsible for it. Am I going in the right direction with that?
Well, Todd, I hope that that's exactly what happens, because that sounds awesome. I got to give you a little secret. It's a little secret, you and all the other people who are listening. I look at your earball. That's what I said to my son. Give me your earball. I have not a clue what's going on with Big Sky season 2 any more than I knew what was going on in season 1. There's a running theme with DeDee Pfeiffer in the Pfeiffer family. I'm the last to know everything. And DeDee playing Denise on the Big Sky, it's the same thing. I'm always the last to know everything. So if that happens, I'll know when I get the script. I think it's funny that I'm always the last to know because there's always an element of surprise. But I think that you're probably right. All I was told by the new showrunner, by the way, Elwood, is that we're going to go a little deeper with all the principal characters. So I would imagine that's Denise too. So maybe, who knows? Who knows what's going on with Denise? But I love where you're going with it. I love that.
Yeah, and a lot of the characters on all shows that have a lot of good parts, they may be not in every scene. Those are the characters that usually come into fruition in season 2. For example, if you ever watched The Vampire Diaries, Kat Graham's character, who people loved, really started to show her light in season 2. I think a lot of writers do that on purpose because even though you got the lead characters, the really, really important characters are the ones that they'll bring out more in the second season if it works. So kudos to you for landing that role. And I'm not taking away from the main people because they're great. They're all Catherine and Kaylee and everybody. They're amazing. How do you get along to crew? Do you guys like family when you're on set, or any discrepancies?
It's everybody is so different. I love this cast. We're like so varied and colorful and textured. We really, really are. And we got the young bucks and we got the old bucks and then the recycled bucks like me, right? And we have all sorts of different kinds of people on this cast when it comes to the principal characters. And then, of course, the guest stars who we love to bring on in, and then we'll kill you and then we, or they kill each other, right? Is that my phone?
No, that was me. People love to email and text when you tell them not to. It's like, but I gotta get a hold of you. I'm like, that's awesome, but I'll get back to you later. Stop FaceTiming me. I'm gonna call Michelle and kill her. Michelle, stop FaceTiming me. I already spoke to your sister.
My screen goes like that. It's her trying to FaceTime me. Exactly.
Tell her to come into the talk. Bring her in. And I'll be like, listen, Michelle, I know you're a known person, but I just want to let you know that stop messing up your girl's flow. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, just cut it out.
Although, Todd, I do have some eyeliner and some makeup on, and I brushed my hair. So actually, I might accept her FaceTime call right now because I don't look like I did at 6 o'clock this morning. No business doing that to your sister. But yeah, Denise, here's what I think about Denise. What do you think? I think because I'm so into like otherworldly, like possible other lives and aliens and stuff like that. Like, I just think that shit is so exciting.
Hey, you're in New Mexico.
I'm telling you, I said when I got to New Mexico, it's supposed to be a hot spot.
Yeah.
I said, I can't wait to get here so that I get abducted because I need a fucking vacation. I'm so exhausted and I need to leave the universe just for a minute. Can do without the little, like, the scientific studies and the probing. Can do without the probing, but I would love for them to take my ass out of the universe for a minute. How cool would that be? Come on.
Well, you know what? Yeah, Thor. Yeah, so DeDee wants you to bring the Bifrost down to Earth and just pick her up. No, she's cool with that. No, she loves Loki. Like, her and Loki get along great. They're both energized and both kind of wacky. I think it would be awesome. All right, cool. Yes, my hammer is bigger than yours. Stop playing.
Ooh,
and that's it. That would be awesome. Yeah, that's my dude.
Dude. But Todd, think about it. Let's have Denise have an encounter. Well,
I like it.
Yeah, like where she literally gets abducted, right? And she comes to work and she tells everybody. And what do you think they're going to do? They're going to think she's flipping insane, right? But we know that there's hundreds of millions of people who have been abducted who swear they've been abducted. I keep telling the writers, no one listens to me, but I said, you really have to have Denise be abducted and then have everyone think she's nuts. But I love that.
That would be a great twist. I mean, Montana is definitely a state open, I think, for something like that. That would be kind of cool. That'd be a little, as long as they keep it not an alienalistic type of thing, because if they go into that, it's got to be like realistic, like fire in the sky type of deal.
Yeah.
I think that'd be kind of cool.
Say hello to everyone for us. Hi, everybody. Is that what I'm supposed to do? I've never done this before.
Yeah.
Hi.
Hey, Alan Rosado, 37. What's up, man?
Alan, he's my friend. He made my first wedding dress. Hold on, I've been married 3 times. My first. Alan, did you make my first or second wedding dress? My second wedding. Yeah, I've been married and divorced. I will marry you and I will divorce you. See, just so you know. Alan.
Oh, runaway bride. That's awesome. There's your new role for you right there.
Alan made me 2 beautiful midriff wedding dresses. Midriff. That was a long time ago. Mama, don't do that no more. But yeah, I had midriff wedding dresses. It was the boy's daddy's second marriage. Yeah, that's Alan. Hi, Alan.
Hey, Alan. I don't want to dress, but hello anyway. I'm good.
Alan Del Rosso. He's a very famous dress designer. He actually needs to make me something nice because I'm kind of a sweat girl these days.
Yeah, Alan, follow me on Instagram, man. I'll follow you back.
Yeah,
that's what it's
Al,
all
follow
about.
him.
Yeah, I don't need a dress, but you never know in the future. My future wife, whoever that could be, whoever that could be.
Got you a date. Dude, that just got you a date. If like a girl out there is listening to you going, oh, he's already thinking about me. I love him.
Yeah, great. If I go on a first date and she's like, so what do you think about kids? Check. I'm not there yet.
I'm pretty sure that's how the baby's daddy got me, was that he wasn't scared of the idea. If I like, I was like, oh my God, I think I might be pregnant. And he was like, oh, really? That's awesome. And I was like, oh, I'm marrying you. That was the only guy that got excited when I said, I think I might be pregnant. See, I told you, that easy.
You're like, wait, what? I'm like, all I did is, it's like, yeah, our first date. I can just imagine you're on a first date. He reaches over to you like, baby, I really like you. 2 minutes later, he's like, what the hell is that? Oh, baby, I'm fertile. Like, I already have the kid. Like we might as well get married because this thing's already growing. It's like, wow, great date.
Speaking of that, you know that Kylie on the show is pregnant. She's
no, I did not. Yeah, I didn't know that.
Yeah,
they covered it up
I
pretty
can only
well.
say it because I thought she's on her Instagram. Otherwise, I would never ever say that she's pregnant. So again, I don't know if they're going to write that into the character, or are we going to hide it? Because I worked through both my pregnancies. I was pregnant on screen and nobody knew. They're really great these days about filming around the old belly. So I don't know if they're going to incorporate it or they're going to film around it. But yeah, Kylie's pregnant. So she's doing it.
Congratulations, Kylie. That's awesome. Yeah, I mean, they did that in Wonder Woman. People didn't know she was pregnant during that film. They hit her. She talked about it in a talk show.
Oh,
they had a green screen type of thing where they hit it. That's crazy, right?
It is.
Imagine being saved by a pregnant mom.
Huh?
That'll be a great superhero, like super pregnant mom. Just like
exactly.
She could do like all superpowers, and on top of that, the little baby's hand can come out of the belly button like an extra type of power, just like pow.
Wait, I think that sounds like a movie I did called The Horror Show. And I was a young girl and the baby Janky came through my belly.
You've been in some crazy films. By the way, speaking of somebody you worked with, I definitely have to ask, Falling Down, you got to work with the great Michael Douglas in Falling Down. How was that working with him? Because that's an iconic actor right there, him and his dad, Kirk.
To be honest, I think I'm still in shock. How many years later? I'm still in shock. I have this thing called imposter syndrome. I always think whenever I get a job that they meant to hire the girl behind me and they accidentally pointed at me and then I came on the set. But with the Michael Douglas thing, that was crazy because I had read for Joel Schumacher for a series called Malibu 2000, and this other actress got the job named Drew Barrymore. Now, mind you, Todd, this shit happened to me all the time. Patricia Arquette, Drew, all of them. They were.
You all have the similar features, you know that, right?
We all read for Renee. So we all read for the same shit, but then they got it. But anyways, I got the other stuff. Hey man, I did other stuff. It's all good. We all have different journeys. We all have different journeys. But so he said, Drew got that, but I'm going to give you a small role in this film I'm doing. Little did anybody know, because he liked what I did with the role for Malibu 2000, but didn't think I would like. So he said, here's this. It's a small role. Let's see what you'll do with it. So it was hysterical. Because there's no such thing, I was taught as a small role, only small actors. I went in and I decided that Sheila was Bonnie and she was waiting for her Clyde to come in one day at the damn Whammy Burger and save her from the hell job that she hates because she's way too cool for that job. This is the whole internal conversation that Sheila has with herself, right? So when I go into the wardrobe fitting, they put this hamburger on my head. And I thought, I finally score a job with Michael Douglas and I'm wearing a fucking hamburger on my head. This does not go with Sheila's interpretation of her sexiness, right? So, of course, I had to use it. So once again, in the scene, I just really tried to make Sheila just all that. She just thinks she's all that. So that when Michael Douglas comes in, he is totally her Clyde when he pulls out that gun. She's the only one in there who almost has an orgasm, not fear, when he pulls out the gun because, of course, Clyde has a gun, right? So that's what I did with that role. It was so fun to play. Yeah, it was.
Oh, man.
Douglas is just like, I still kind of can't believe that. I think that was a dream. I don't, you know what I mean? It was just so amazing.
Yeah, that's definitely one of the iconic actors of the time right now. I mean, his family alone, Spartacus, his dad, I mean, it's crazy.
Yeah.
But your family also, I mean, you're part of that. You're one of the reasons why the Pfeiffers are always out there, which is great. And
thank you.
is there any talks about an Emmy for next year for Big Sky? Because you guys are into season 2, right? Which is a great show. Now you're given 13 episodes, which is pretty much a full season, almost, if you want to really think about it.
Yeah.
If you guys keep going the way you're going, you're definitely a hit show that I can see Emmy talks for it because you have such a great plethora of actors on your show. And a lot of them are not really up-and-comers. They're known, but it's one of those shows that could win a lot of awards because you don't really have, like, a big monster name, like you're all monster names, but it's good that you didn't put a huge name on there because sometimes putting a monster name like an Al Pacino already like that kind of ruins the show if it doesn't do as great as you expect it to do.
Yeah.
But you guys as a core together, all well-known actors, are really killing it, and I really think that this could be a show that I can see Emmy talks for in 2022. What do you think about that?
I love that. I love everything you're saying. You know, Brooke Smith and John
Right.
Carol Lynch, they both, I heard, got nominated for Best Supporting Actor. So I think, again, I'm always the last to know. So I think they got nominations. I believe the show is up for consideration for Best Ensemble, maybe.
Nice.
Yeah, I don't know. That's so cool. I was on Sybil when we got nominated for a bunch of show awards, and we actually won one. And again, it was the year we all wore red. No one knew we were going to wear red, and we were up on stage. And I remember looking down at all these huge stars, going, "Why am I up here? This is like somebody pinch me." Again, I just kind of, I think I fog over and go to some other universe when those things happen because it's so flattering. It's like flattering on being flattered on steroids. It's just so cool. Yeah. So
wow. Somebody just wrote, by the way, they announced the Emmy nods today.
Oh, they did? Okay.
Kind of weird. Wow, that's kind of weird. And you said Sybil, and obviously you work with Christine Baranski, who's just an amazing actress. I had the pleasure of meeting her as a waiter years ago. And she was so sweet. And I didn't even know she was from Buffalo. And my brother lives up there. And she's so nice, but she's such a talent. So how gifted are you, not only people being honored to work with you, but you be able to work with so many great actors and actresses that you could take each experience and put it into your own? Do you feel that's one of the reasons why you have excelled in your career? Because it seems like you really learned from your co-stars and put it into your technique. Is that something you've done for a long time?
Absolutely. I learned from everything, everybody, even in situations in life that one would hate or not like. I don't like it either. But I know that in this moment, there's something I need to learn and observe and be mindful of so that I can recreate it at a later date. Again, if you're judging something, right, you're looking at it like this. But if you're curious about something, you're looking at it like this. So when I watch other actors and the way they work, I learn from them, the do's and the don'ts. Okay. Listen, we're a plethora of different kinds of people, but I will say I have worked with some of the most amazing actors. For the most part, I have to say I've only worked with great actors across the board. So I've learned from all of them, but also just life experience. I think really for me, the best teacher is life. Life really just, even just this interview, right? It's so different. And I'm on my telephone and there's like this, look, if I go like this, I have horns coming out of my head. Look at that.
Wait, that's crazy. That is, and there's your alien right there for you if you want to put that in. We got to take a screenshot of that. And thank you for saying that, because one of the reasons why I'm getting the caliber of people like yourself on the show every day I don't want these interviews to be the same 3 boring questions. It's about having a conversation about 2 people that are funny, that are fun. And it's about getting to know you and not just the things people already know, right?
Yeah.
And thank you for saying that. I really appreciate that a lot.
Of course.
From
I
you.
also think the reason why I still kind of don't understand why I score roles that I have in the past, but the only thing I can think of is that I do look at life from a different lens than most people. So I think when you write something on a script,
Yeah.
there's this the girl next door, okay, named Jill, and you have all these actresses coming in to play or to audition for the girl next door named Jill. Just because of the way I look at life is through. I have a funky lens I look at life through, and I have a feeling that when I come in to portray Jill next door, it's going to be a different version than most other actors, just because I'm so odd. I'm very much out of the box, so I'm going to fit really well into, say, a role that you want some color and texture for. But if you want something beige, not a good idea to hire me. I'd say go get another actor. They'll do it much better than me. Beige is not a color in my plethora of colors that I, look through life with, right? Did that make sense?
That makes sense. And I think one of the main reasons is, just like somebody on here said, well, I can't read it, Wonder or whatever, they said because you're good. Most people get these roles because not only you're talented, but you're humble. You're easy to work with. You're fun to work with. As well as I know, there are a lot of great actors that we don't hear about anymore because they're not fun to work with. They're a pain in the ass. They're bougie. They forget that they were once an amateur before they became a professional. Yeah. And they forget no matter how big of a star you are, you're not the one that pays the paycheck. So the ones with the money will turn around and be like, listen, with the money I got on you, bye, because I'll get 30 other actors that'll take your place that are just as known as you are. And people need to understand that. Stop being egotistical and be thankful for all the fruits and labor that life is giving you based on your talent. And I think that's what you have.
It's so true. There's no I in acting. I mean, like you said it early when we first started talking, that there's a whole entire crew that is responsible for every episode of Big Sky. There's more people behind that camera than in front of that camera to make Big Sky as amazing as it is. And that goes for all productions. And one of the things I do is I really do appreciate the crew. I mean, that the first one's there before we show up and the last one's there when we leave. And for instance, when I first started acting, when I was 20, 1,000 years ago, when I was like 20, was I 2019, whatever. The bottom line is when I went at the end of the day to leave, I didn't even get a chance to hang up my clothes. But I can tell you right now, this is old school. This is back in the 90s. The wardrobe gal said, by the way, I ain't your mother, so hang up your clothes at the end of the day. And I felt spanked. And I thought, well, I was going to, Betsy, but you didn't give me a chance to. But I'll never forget that. She said to me, and Claudia Wells at the time, she was huge at the time, we're the first ones here and we're the last ones here. We're not your maids. We're not your servants or whatever. And to me, I love that. She set a boundary, and I'll never forget that to this day. I always hang up my clothes at the end of the day. I don't care if they're sweaty, muddy, or whatever. I hang them up. I don't want anyone bending over and picking up my shit off the floor. I always thank the crew at the end of the day for a hard day. On Instagram, I try to reach out and say, hey, love and the crew, Big Sky, you've got, and it's really important to know who's really responsible for all of us in front of the camera who get all the props, right?
Yeah, and I agree with you totally. And DeDee, I'll be honest with you, I could talk for you for hours.
Oh, Todd, you're so sweet. But look, I got to show you something. Look.
Yeah.
Look at this. See? Can you see?
Is that a dog?
Yeah. It's right.
I can only see the top. Oh, is that the ratty? Is that the Rottweiler?
She's just literally upside down snoring.
Oh, by the way, on your phone, there's a thing that can hit the camera where you can reverse it. Just to let you know.
Oh, now you tell me.
Yeah, do it right now. Try it right now. Try it. Just hit it. You see it's like 2 arrows. One going this way, one going the other way.
Didn't Turk tell you that I am literally the lamest client that he has?
First of all, I want to thank UCLA for giving this lady a degree. We really appreciate it.
I know. My sons are like this. you have a degree from UCLA and you can't figure out the damn phone. I'm like, listen here, zip it, zipper. Zip it, zipper. I know trauma. I know homelessness. I know trauma, substance use, but I don't know electronics. You do an assessment on trauma and let's see how well you do.
Oh, man. Well, DeDee, when I get my full talk show, because that's what we're leaning towards, getting a studio audience, I would love.
Have me on.
Yes, I would love to have you back. You are probably one of my favorite guests I've had in 2 seasons. And I've had a lot of great guests. Not putting anybody down, they were all awesome, but I could talk to you for a long time. But I know you got a lot going on. You got your family. First of all, congratulations again on Big Sky.
Thank you.
That's a big deal. To your family, to Michelle, to David E. Kelly, thank you and congrats to all you guys for what you're doing. I think it's amazing how a family is really becoming really successful, but always keeps family first when you guys get together. That's really important to me.
Always, yeah.
So hopefully we'll connect offline. I'd love to chat with you once in a while. I won't do FaceTime, I promise.
Okay, listen here. When you get your proper interview show, can you do me a favor? Can we not do it on the phone? Because look at
in person.
Well, but what about my horns? Can we do it with my horns coming up?
Well, what we could do is you could bring a prop to the show and just wear it.
It's like, remember when we first met, you had horns coming out of your head? And I go, yeah, I remember that. That was good times, good times.
Yeah, we'll do a little parody, one of the skits on the show.
You did with my Seinfeld, which, by the way, you are so funny. You are so funny, and again, it took me 3 days to post it because I couldn't figure out how, but I did. You notice I did post it. You're welcome.
Thank you. No, I appreciate that.
Turk helped me. Turkey.
No, I appreciate that. I love doing them. I write comedy sketches every day. My biggest one was the one I did with John Amos, Coming to America skit, and he absolutely loved it. I think we got 28,000 views on that on his site, and.
I have 28,000 views on mine too. How do we make that happen? I don't know. I'll ask my son.
I don't know either. It wasn't my site.
I don't know.
You know what it is, and I appreciate you because I like having real people follow me instead of just buying them. Because what's the point of having ghosts? I mean, it doesn't even make sense.
If you have a ghost, then that's very similar to an out of the universe what do you call spaceship?
Out of body experience?
Yeah, I want one of those too.
Well, hopefully one day we'll get together, have an out of body experience. We'll get abducted.
Okay.
When your sister calls, I'm going to get on the phone and be like, yo, man, can you stop video calling? Look at my eyes. Don't I look crazy? Stop video calling me. And she's going to look at me and be like, listen, I'm Batman. I'll be like, what?
Yeah.
And then freak me out.
Yeah, but you don't want those blue eyes looking at you like that. She'll mess you up.
All right, man. I've seen her in Greece. We all make mistakes. It's okay. No, I'm not. I'm playing. I'm playing because I used to sing. I used to sing the Greece songs when she was in it.
What's the matter with you?
I'm so kidding. I know she's going to see this, but I am so kidding.
I don't see my own interviews. She doesn't. Trust me. I don't watch my own interviews. I don't watch mine either. Yeah. Last thing I want to do at the end of the day is watch myself on an interview or listen to myself on an interview or certainly not watch myself on TV when there's alien shows to watch. Come on, man.
Oh, you're gonna watch this one? You're gonna watch this one because when you're up at late at night and you want something to laugh about, you're not gonna watch the show at all. I completely tell you, do not watch this show. It's freaking horrible. I don't even know why you're on here right now. Look at me. Look at me. Look at New York City. It's blue. Have you ever seen a blue New York City before? No. It's just like that because...
Well, I might have, but I was drinking back then. I don't remember. A lot of things were blue when I was drinking, so I don't know. Yeah, you may have blue skies, but you don't have horns, okay? Yeah, see? There you go. All right, Todd. Thank you.
Well, to you and your horns.
Snoring Rottweiler over there who's about to get really loud.
Go have fun with your Rottweiler. And thank you, DeDee, for being on FaceTime with Todd Wharton. I'm sure we're going to link up soon. I look forward to having you back.
You got it.
All right. All right. Take care. Have a great night. Be safe.
You too. Have a beautiful night. Bye-bye.
First of all, I want to thank DeDee Pfeiffer for being such a hilarious guest. God, I love her so much. She was so much fun, and I can't wait to have you back. And of course, thank you to my live virtual audience for tuning in tonight. Now, tomorrow night, I have another great actor, Jack Halloran, who you've seen on Superman 1 and 2, Dragnet, and much, much more. And it's going to be a great interview tomorrow night. So guys, be safe, have a great night, and if you're not living a passionate life, then reach out to your Lord. Take care, everybody. Hey guys, thanks for watching. And while you're here, you might as well subscribe to my YouTube channel. And for more information on the show, go to FaceTime with ToddWharton.com.
What are you doing in there?
Ma, I'm shooting a promo. Why you always gotta ruin my flavor?